This meeting is now being recorded.
Hi, welcome to Session 2 of the Group Insurance Commission's Magic App training. Today's session, we're going to talk about how to search in the application, how to find personal information, view that information, as well as edit that information. And we're going to look at coverages and the dependent sections as well. With that being said, we're going to go ahead over to the application. You remember this section from the first training that we did together. At the top left, you always see the Magic App, and on the top right, you always see the State of Massachusetts logo. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Oops, and as you can see, I typed my password incorrectly, so I need to do that again. I want to note that if you're wondering what you typed behind these masked information, you can always click this little eyeball and it will show you. Okay, so we're logged in and we're on our home page. If you remember this from before, just a reminder, our system's best viewed using Internet Explorer 11, and down below we have the Magic Help email for you and the accessibility email here at the GIC. Let's go ahead to the top. Today we're going to spend our time in the benefit management section. And we come to our search section. You can search in New Magic three different ways. You can search by a GIC ID employee number. You can search by last name, first name, or the dependent's last name, first name. So let's go ahead and search for one of our folks, and you'll notice that two different people appear on the screen. This is pretty easy to choose which one we want, but if you did want to narrow your search, you can type any factor here. You can type somebody's street, and it will begin to show you their street name. You can type in their city, and it will narrow the search for you. With two people, we don't really need to utilize that, but with more, you'll want to have that capability. Let's go ahead and bring up Abraham Cadabra. I wanted to show you that Abraham's record starts with the personal information at the top. We then have the coverages section, and we have the dependent section. Those three sections make up this entire personal information screen. You'll notice that we do have the capability to edit personal information for Abraham. We also have the ability to edit and add coverage. And this is because Abraham is currently an active insured. If he had already terminated, we would see a term date and a term reason here, and in that case, we wouldn't be able to make any changes. And I'll show you somebody's record like that in a moment. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the basics that exist throughout our entire system. We have the three sections, and you'll notice that the coverages section and the dependent section currently have minus signs in front of them. If I want to collapse this section, I click the minus, and away it goes. And I think you probably figured it out. If I hit the plus, it will open that section back up again. Additionally, we have active and all buttons on all of our screens. Active shows active coverages in this section or active dependents. In this case, Abraham's two dependents are both active. His spouse is active without any term date, and currently his son, Valentine, is active through August 31st of 2017, which is the last day in the month in which he turns 19. We also have, as you can see, these select buttons. This select button in the coverage screen has an edit and view. The reason it has edit is because it's an active coverage. Once this coverage terminates, it no longer is active and you would only be able to see view. I wanted to say that the Tufts Navigator family coverage is currently showing in the active view because there is no term date. So it's without question a currently active coverage. However, if there was a term date here, that was, for example, April 30th of 2017, that would still appear in the active coverage grid because April 30th hasn't arrived yet. And the third scenario that we show you in this coverage section is a future starting So if, for example, this coverage had a start date of May 1st, 2017, and it's not May 1st, 17 yet, that coverage would appear as active. Down below in the dependent section, we have view. You do not have the capability to edit. If you do have to make a change to Charlotte or Valentine's record, you would need to send that documentation in order for the folks at GIC here to help you out. I want to remind you that all of the information that you're seeing here is fictitious information, except for the coverages. Tufts is an actual vendor, and Navigator Family is an actual plan. Once again, I am a consultant with the GIC, so if there are any questions that weren't answered during this session, please send us an email at magic.help@massmail.state.ma.us, or you may also contact your auditor here at the GIC. Okay, so let's go ahead and edit Abraham's information. I'm going to take you back to the insured right here, back to insured. Anytime you want to go back to that main screen, you're going to click right there. And you'll notice that we have information here on the front screen revealed for you. We don't show you Abraham or any other insured's complete GIC ID or Social Security number on this page. We do show you the full name, the gender, Social Security number, just the last four again. There is no employee ID for Abraham. Please note that the address is a required field, as well as his name, as well as his gender, and some of these other fields. Home phone's not required, but in this case we do have it. Abraham's status is active. Your agency division is listed here, his date of birth, etc. So if we want to go ahead and edit his information, because we noticed that his middle initial was incorrect. He was supposed to have the middle initial of F. And you'll notice that they say he lives in apartment A, but he actually lives in apartment 3B. So we're going to go ahead and make those changes, and we're going to click Submit. But before we do that, let me just remind you that up here during the Edit session, I can see the entire GIC ID and the entire Social Security number, should you need to check on that. Let's go ahead and click Submit. It told me there that I had an invalid invalid zip code. It's not so sure that this zip code actually belongs with Spellbound, Mass. It will accept it, but if you see that and you know that, oh, that's wrong, you would come back in here and you would go ahead and change that zip code. You'll notice that you're not able to change these fields here or the date entered state service. I'm going to go ahead and submit. And we're back on the personal information screen. I want to show you somebody else. Let's go ahead and search for our friend Gregor. And that requires me to be able to type in the right last name. And you'll notice I now have the record of Gregor Cadabra here in front of me. I know that, yes, he lives in Waverly, Mass. And I'm going to go ahead and click on this link on the left, and it reveals Gregor's page. You'll notice that Gregor is retired, so I do not have the capability of editing Gregor's information. Just wanted to show you that only active employees can be edited. The system has logged me out. I can log right back in. I do want to mention that we do have a timeout feature built in. If you don't do anything on your screen for 5 minutes, it will automatically log you out, and you would simply just log back in when you're returned. That's a feature so that your private data isn't just sitting there if you should not be in the room or in your office. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our friend Abraham again. And just as a review, he's active, so we can edit his personal information. And I wanted to show you that in addition to the edits that we did before, we can also add a second address for Abraham. So if you wanted to add a mailing address, you would click on Add Another Address, you would go ahead and click on Mailing, and you would go ahead and save that. We allow 2 addresses in the system that you can edit. I'm going to go ahead and cancel since I didn't make any changes here. And it's going to take me back to this main screen. I wanted to go back to Gregor for a moment. There was one more thing I wanted to show you in the coverages section for Gregor. You'll notice that he has 2 coverages. Some of our municipalities out there offer the retiree dental coverage. I know not everybody, but if you do offer it, the dental would also appear in this same coverage grid along with the health coverage. Additionally, the current premium for each of these coverages adds up to this current premium total, which is listed here. I also wanted to take you into the view and show you that we can see the history of Gregor's health coverage. It started January 1st of 2012, and at that time the premium is listed, the 100% premium for your organization. You'll then see that the premium changed July 1st, 2012 until June 30th of 2013. It changed again, so each time there's a change in the premium or in the employee status, we would list that change on a separate line here for you to see. Just to show you again, I got to that by clicking on View. I can click on View here for the dental, and you'll notice that that only started recently last September, so that's listed here with just one line. There have been no changes to this coverage. Again, this gentleman has no dependents, so this section is empty. And you can tell that he actually has individual coverage currently. Go ahead back to search. As a reminder, you can search by 3 different methods. Search by the insured GIC ID, search by the last name and first name of the insured, last name and first name of the dependent. Take you back to my friend Abraham for a moment here, and I'm going to expand all of these sections, and I'm just going to make sure, give you a chance to review this, look at this, and make sure that if you have any notes that you want to ask of your auditor here at the GIC, or you have an issue that you'd like to email to magic.help, you can write that down now. As a reminder, the minuses, the select button, and all of this information is confidential. So let's just for 1 minute go back. If you are searching by an ID number, for example, and you type in your number here, you'll notice that this number is masked. If you want to see what you typed, you click on this little eyeball over here. On a PC, you click on the left button, hold it down, and it will reveal the number. Once you let go, the number disappears. This concludes our session on searching and personal information. I do want to let you know that should you have any issues with anybody in your department, perhaps that somebody needs access to the new Magic system, they would contact stacy.hickey@state.ma.us. If you have access issues, Stacy is the contact. If you have technical issues, you want to go ahead and contact us here at magic.help@massmail.state.ma.us. Thanks for your time. We're going to go ahead and end our session. Have a great day.